Here is my newly framed dream shop wall, made out of 2x6s placed every 16 inches and then blocking every 6 feet or so, tied into the metal building frame. This thing is rock solid. However, we've made a critical mistake in the design of this building. A mistake that I don't have a solution for it, and we may be stuck without 2 of our 4 walls. Did not plan on this one. We've all had the dream to have a space, garage, shop, man cave, whatever it's called. It's a special space dedicated to doing what you love. And that's what this is, a 40x50 dream shop in my backyard. Now, this came as a result of a bet I made with my wife that if and when this channel ever hit 100,000 subscribers, I could build this shop in my backyard. Well, we've hit it. And since then, the channel has really accelerated in growth. I spent weeks mapping out exactly where this shop would live, the exact size, and then the 3-letter acronym for Homeowners Association was involved. We've jumped hurdle after hurdle to get this thing approved, and once approved, I thought we were home free. And then the build estimates came in. The only way to do this was to do it myself. And unfortunately, there's been a fairly large oversight. I ordered the wrong building, or the specs on it anyway. And I've been going in circles for weeks trying to find a solution for this. And to be honest, I'm getting really frustrated. Because this is a detail we should have caught in the design of this building versus right now where it's pretty much too late. We're gonna have a major issue with framing our eave and walls. At least the rake-ins are good to go. So getting this thing started off, my dad, or the OG Lonestar Hawaiian, or Sarge, as he's known around here, helped me get this thing tied into the metal building frame at that 20-foot peak, and we were off and running. We ran a mason line across the front of the building to ensure that bottom plate was dead straight. We got our seal sealed down and started running our 2x6 wall studs across the front. Now at this time, we had a surprise visit from the project manager, where I was reprimanded for how long this shop build was taking. But we were able to convince him otherwise or preoccupy him with some detail spray, and we continued on. Lots of stuff coming for both my truck and the trail bot. All right, so we've made a little bit of an error on that side because the window sills are perfectly level. They're supposed to be sloped away from the building. So if any water penetrates or water gets in there, it flows away versus inside. Our cripples for our window are cut at a slight slope. So any water that penetrates down will roll off the window versus just sitting or going inside. Let's play with a nail gun. 5-foot by 3-foot window is going. King stud, our jam, and our cripple. So I'm gonna go ahead and mount this jam, this cripple, header, sill. All right. We got a door frame, and it's solid. I'll tell you this though, there's one thing that the 34-year-old knees know now for a fact. Number one, jumping down from a 7-foot door frame isn't really fun. Number two, framing walls on a 40x50 shop takes a lot of material. And I want to thank AG1 for sponsoring today's video. I'll be honest guys, it takes a lot of energy to do this, to come out here, to create, to build, to film while we're building, and when we're done with the build, we go inside and create a story out of that build, post it, manage it, and do that on repeat. For me, the last 6.5 years, but that's outside of my actual career, having 2 very active kiddos, and just like these batteries have been charging that are fired up and ready to go on a Friday afternoon, I myself have a little bit of a cheat code for my energy, and it's based on foundational nutrition, because if I wasn't taking care of myself physically, mentally, there's no way I could continue to do this
outside of all my other responsibilities as a father. And you guys know the deal. You've seen them before. AG1 is a science-driven formulation of vitamins, probiotics, and whole food source ingredients that support the brain, the gut, and the immune system. And it's such a simple way to raise your baseline health. Now, one of my favorite things, on top of it supporting healthy aging, which I need for my 34-year-old butt to come out here and build my own 40x50 dream shop, this is so easy to integrate into your day-to-day routine. I'm gonna mix mine up sitting on that windowsill. All right, guys, use my link below at drinkag1.com/Lonestar Hawaiian, or you can scan that QR code right there to get your free welcome kit that includes a canister, a shaker, and a year's supply of vitamin D3K2, as well as 5 extra AG1 travel packs. Thank you again to AG1 for sponsoring today's video. Thank you guys for the continued support on the channel. This is the dream. I'm chasing the dream. I want to do this to provide for my family someday. And at 200,000 subscribers, there may be a fairly significant life change. But we gotta focus and finish this side of the wall and then figure out what in the world I'm gonna do with these eave ends. Like I mentioned, we screwed up and I still have not yet figured out that solution. Let's get back at it. We have our door, our window, and our Lifetime Products basketball hoop looking gorgeous. We have blocking still to do. I'm just realizing this. So on the back side, we blocked across in between all the 16-inch on center uprights. This helps those uprights prevent from twisting over time. But even like this one right next to that jamb, the jamb is straight. The lumber, on the other hand, is not. So this will help straighten those out. Back to the time lapse. All right, guys, that is 2 sides of the front waked wall framed and blocked. So the door frame, we have our blocking at 4 and 5 feet, and then it's 126 inches. So spread out about 6 feet from the bottom blocks to the top. Perfectly level and plumb. This thing is solid. I was climbing all over it. So the front rake wall is good for now. We are going to tackle the garage door portion probably at a later date because I'm going back and forth with a few garage door companies. I need their exact specs before I go and frame that out. But I've been mentioning the big issue we're running into is I designed this building wrong. We're gonna drill right into this red iron to mount our 2x4 studded wall. The major issue, and you guys may have seen it by now, is up there. So when I thought through this building, the whole idea was to have a metal building frame for structure, wrap it like a stick-built frame. That way we're able to have this massive clear span interior. I'm gonna put a lift there. We're gonna lift these trucks up. We're gonna work on them, have a lot of space in here to do stuff. We're all set for our bottom plate. Anchor bolts in place, all ready to go. When it gets to the top, there's nothing to tie it into the roof. Case in point, subject A. By the way, Sarge, thank you for coming back out and helping. 2x4, in theory, studded wall floating into space because there is nowhere to tie that guy in. What we're gonna have to do, which I'm not looking forward to, every 2 feet, we're gonna put a 2x4 and tie it into all the purlins. When we frame our wall, it'll nail into the 2x4s tied into the underside of the purlins. You wanna see what I'm talking about?
You gotta put it up this way.
Got a lot of work, a lot of drilling, a lot of studs. Just over 50 to be exact. 400 self-tapping screws. But these are the bigger ones, they're thicker. Let the fun begin. And the waves are firing. Doing pretty good for an old man up there. All right, we've used all my test lumber. I picked up just a couple of sticks just to make sure what was in my head was actually going to work, and it's actually going to work better than I thought it would. But look at that truck. That means I need 200 more of these self-tapping screws, 45 more 2x4, 45 more pieces of lumber. These are like $248 a pop, so another $100. I love that wind.
Got a 100-mile-an-hour wind.
Okay, what we're gonna do as I'm tripping over everything, about 9.5. I forgot that one's got a magnet on it. I'm trying to figure out how tall these uprights are gonna be, so we start doing math on how many we're gonna need. Well, I'm gonna need more of those, so while we still have some help get this bottom plate down, measure out where that door is gonna be. All right, let's keep on going. Back to the time lapse for you guys. All right, back in the garage, another day down. Thank you, Dad. You're welcome. You're going home because I'm going to Monster Jam tonight. If you guys by chance have kids and they like monster trucks, my two boys have their own YouTube channel, Aloha Bros. I'll link it in the description below, but Monster Jam Arlington will be one of the next episodes coming up. Aloha Bros YouTube channel, they're at 800 subscribers so far. Let's get them to 1,000 by the end of the month. Can we do that? Let's try it. Made some decent progress. We're calling it quits for tonight because the boys wanted fire. And we'll be back probably bright and early tomorrow because I got work tomorrow. We're gonna come out here first thing, get as much done as possible, work all day, and then finish it up as much as we can at night. So we're back to that. Let's keep going. So what do you guys think? Every 2 feet, we have an 8-foot 2x4 stud.
It is absolutely solid. I say that a lot, but I mean it about this.
See? Solid.
So we try to be somewhat purposeful with the 2x4s running across the purlins because it does reach across multiple sheets of OSB.
Not sure if this is a fact, but in my head, it seems like that adds a good amount of additional structure.
So that's all done. It looks really good. And on the ends, hard to see, but we cut every single one of those at a 45-degree angle. So it looks clean as well.
So even with this just as a backdrop, actually looks pretty cool. I originally wanted to build the wall on the floor like you see a lot of builders do, and then you flip it up and then mount it in place. But because we're building up into the roof versus building a wall and then the roof on top of it,
in my head, this is just gonna work out better. We are now gonna run our studs up to the top after we mount that top plate all the way across,
which means more lumber. On the way home from work today, picked up a good amount of 2x4x10s, a lot of them, a couple of 12s, a couple of 14s. These will be used for the top plate. These are the studs going up to that top plate. We'll see how far this run of 2x4s gets me. We're gonna call it a night tonight. We'll see you guys back in the daylight, hopefully daylight.
So we actually just decided to run one steel door on the west side of the building, but no windows. With all the other windows all the way around the building, this would actually work out better from a video standpoint and cinematically.
All right, just a few more sticks and a header, and we're all set. It looks so dang cool. Now, I watched a few videos prior to starting this, and a few of them said that when these studs have crowns, you want the crown out. This thing is completely straight and dead on level. Or I think they use the word plumb. Now we have our giant level here, just to double check my work. Good there. This looks really cool, especially as it starts to take shape. And as you guys well know, that's a big focus with this shop, to make it look good and everything dead on straight and as perfect as I can possibly get it. But we're taking a quick break because my father-in-law needs help at his house, about 30 minutes north of here. So we'll be back in a few hours
To continue this fun.
Can barely see it from the road. Barely. Fairly noticeable. I don't even know why the HOA is upset about it.
A few things happen every time we finish a major step or task in this dream shop process. Number one,
I get absolutely pumped. I'm so stoked. Those things that have been living in my head since I was a child, slowly becoming tangible right before my eyes.
this wall, the front end, the side, the studs, everything up, just making this shop look like a real building now, not just a big giant gazebo.
In addition, we came into this video with a major issue. I had nothing to tie my eve end walls to. It just kind of went up into hopes and dreams.
But we were able to get creative, problem solve, and figure out how to tie the bottom plate to the studs, to the top plate, to the roof, and this thing is absolutely solid.
And that's one word I use a lot in this shop build. And one thing I will continue to say, this thing is solid. It's a very sturdy building. And last but not least, every time we finish a major step in process, we end up with a lot of scrap pieces.
Which means me and the boys get to come out here tonight and have ourselves a nice little
Fire. Guys, I'm having a blast with this. Thank you so much for being a part of this and making this a reality. This shop is the result of making kind of a silly bet with my wife that if and when this channel ever hit 100,000 subscribers, we could do something like this. This is what I love to do. And if I can make this work to provide for my family, this is no question what I want to be doing. So if you guys enjoyed this video, please hit the like button, share the channel, because these are the things that are gonna allow me to do things like this and be able to dedicate that 50 to 60 hours a week we have elsewhere into this passion of mine. I need to order bricks, I need to order a garage door, I need to order a few other miscellaneous items, but that's gonna be it, guys. I need to get inside, start editing this video for you guys. Thank you again so much for everything. We'll catch you in a few days for our next video. Until that day comes, as always, y'all take care. Ahui ho. Aloha.